when my dad did, how do I say it, relax and try to enjoy his day, I think it's important to talk about what a day with him would be like. So on Saturdays when he was around, he would wake up and we'd go have breakfast. My mom would make Swedish pancakes, and immediately after that was done, we mowed the lawn. And my father was absolutely meticulous. He had a calm about him when he was edging and mowing the lawn, and he taught me that you cut a lawn with the lines like you see on a fairway golf course. It was that meticulous. Soon after that, he'd give me a haircut if I needed one. And then we would hop in his little bug-eyed Austin Healey Sprite and we'd go to Sears. And it was always first stop was Sears because he wanted to look at the tools that had been developed by Craftsman Tools. And he would just be looking at tools. And once in a while he would look at the motors on the refrigerators and dishwashers. Never looked at clothes, and once in a while he'd buy a tool. We'd go have lunch, and then he loved to look at cars, the engineering, what was being done with the advancement of engineering. And I like to tell this one story. We were at a Chrysler dealer. We walked in the showroom, and my father says, "Johnny, walk into the bay back there where the service bays are and bring out the lift." So I dragged the lift into the showroom, and my father puts it under the car and jacks the car up. Now the salesmen are so shocked that a customer potentially has now jacked up the front of a car, and we crawled underneath the car. And underneath that car, my dad, I vividly remember him showing me a torsion bar suspension. It was a Chrysler product. He says, "John, this reduces the energy level at this point and disperses it more readily." And then I was under the car with him, and I saw about 20 shoes that looked like they were going to get in the car, and I was afraid they were going to touch the end of that jack and drop that thing down, and we're underneath. I said, "Dad, we got to get out of here." We pushed out, and then we lowered the jack down, and my dad says, "Return the jack," and we walked out. Salesman, we just walked out. Nothing was ever said. After we had left the auto dealership, my dad liked to end the day going to this retail outlet called Western Appliance. My dad would routinely go to Western Appliance, and when he walked in, the service manager and the sales manager loved my father to review the schematic charts in the back of the manuals of televisions. That's when they had long, stretched out, accordion-styled paper with schematics all drawn out. And my father would start at the beginning, and he would end, and he would look for potential, what I would call breakdown points or challenge points, where you should be looking if, in fact, something breaks down. And once he'd finished correcting it, he'd circle it, say, "Real important here." He would close it, wrap it up, give it back, and they'd put a big W on the cover because Wallace had corrected this TV. We did that for 4 years on periodic Saturdays. And then finally, one time, my father looks at the schematics, and he didn't circle it anywhere. And he said, "Johnny, this is the TV we're going to buy." We were the last family in our neighborhood to have a color TV, although my dad was fixing schematics of all of them. And when finally in 1969, we got a color TV. And here I am arguably with one of the greatest TV repair guys of the world.
How long did that TV last?
Oh, he never let it break down. I mean, it met his engineering standards. Right. And there was one model that came out called Quasar, electronics in a drawer. And I remember my dad told the service manager that for every tech you own, you better add 2 more if you're going to be selling many of these, because these things are going to go down quick. So he said, you better double, if not triple, your repair force.